This is not just Magnum. This is crisp, high definition, unlimited FPS Magnum. This is out of breath Magnum. This is PC Magnum. Hello, my fellow hunters. Welcome one, welcome all. So, just one and all. If you're not one of those two people, get lost. In all seriousness, though, today I want to go over, well, my impressions of the Monster Hunter Rise PC version, which I have been playing for a little while now. And indeed, thank you very much to Capcom for, well, allowing me to do so. And basically, the bottom line here, the TLDR is, yeah, if you like Rise on Switch, of course you're going to like it on PC. It looks better, it runs better, it's got better features, even if those features you could argue are just superficial, but I mean, who doesn't want to play the entirety of Monster Hunter, where every goddamn frame looks like a gorgeous painting? I mean, seriously. Look at that Warring Land style. It's fantastic. It's completely, again, pointless, but it's fantastic. It wasn't necessary, didn't ask for it, but it's really cool it got put in. Seriously, though, you can make some incredibly cinematically badass feeling gameplay if you toggle all of these settings just right. As I steel myself for the battle ahead, I must remember only one thing. I don't do this for myself, but for Kamura Village. And all I know is that I must hunt! Granted, I realize my gameplay is downright lame compared to the epic gravitas of both the music and the visual flair. Moving on. Of course, on the technical side of things, yeah, you don't really notice, or at least I don't, the relatively low frames on Switch, but you certainly notice when you start, well, being able to have as many as your computer can allow you to have. Everything just runs smoother, everything just looks better, especially the monster textures and the armor textures. They are the two big winners. The monsters look good, the hunters look good, and really, that's what matters. One thing I will say, and this might be the tiniest of nitpicks, but it's one I have with Base Rise, and with it not changed on PC, it's still quite sad. I just wish you could turn the guiding lines off of the camera, like you could do in World and Iceborne, and actually have some really nice shots when you're wandering around using it in-game. It would make it a very much more useful tool, but that's probably niche to me, someone who likes to make cool video moments, so I suppose it's not really the saddest thing that that's not been added to PC. Oh, and I will add frame rise, general smoothness, performance, with how fast-paced Rise is, with how much you'll be zipping around with your wire bugs, with your silkbind attacks. It really is nice to have it so silky smooth that it is on PC. Nothing's inherently changed mechanically, but it does feel better, it really does. Everything seems to have just slightly more impact, everything seems to just flow that little bit better. The more agile monsters dance that little bit more elegantly. It might just be something intangible, but on a deep level you kind of just feel it more while playing on PC, and that's really, really cool to experience. I think on the whole the environments have gotten less of an upgrade, but at the same time it really isn't the focus in a Monster Hunter game, and especially not in Rise with how fast-paced it is. And talking of Rise in itself, well, it's still Monster Hunter Rise, and if you want to know how that is, well, you could still watch my initial review of the game itself from just before the Switch initial version release, because everything still holds true. except for the fact that Rise on PC honestly is just the definitive version of Rise and the best way to play it. Outside of a few extra features and extra performance, I mean, it comes already packaged with every single update, with all of the extra monsters, with the Elder Dragons, with the actual, story ending of the game. Someone who has never played Rise will have a smoother, less broken up, more complete, makes sense experience playing through on PC because, they will finish the game fully and completely in a satisfying story conclusion, and that's really quite neat. And it does bring up the question that, is Monster Hunter just better experienced on PC? Is having that extra power allowing the devs to really go all out and having that extra customizability really where it's at? And I think there certainly is a argument for that, though of course the charm of a portable Monster Hunter game is that it's portable, and having it on the Switch is indeed that. Though I will genuinely say the amount of hours that I have spent on portable Rise is probably about 1% compared to docked, having the full proper experience. And of course, control-wise, you can still play with your controller if you prefer playing that way, which, let's be honest, you should, as although mouse and keyboard controls are fine, they're okay, they're not what you're used to. I imagine if you start with them, learn them, you'll do fine, but I think with a game like Monster Hunter, really, you just can do better, faster, and more using a controller. It's really very much built for it, and I would highly recommend if you are going to get Rise on PC, you do play with a controller. That said, though, having mouse aim targeting for gunners, bows too, but definitely more helpful for gunners, is quite fun and something that you might actually get some decent amount of use out of. You, of course, have ultra-wide support, you have 4K, and you have every one of the bells and whistles that you would expect in this honestly very solidly well-made port. I've not had any frame drops, I've not had any issues, I've not had any crashes, I've not had any bugs. It's just been reliable all round, which is honestly the number one factor when reviewing any kind of PC port of an otherwise console game, because stability is incredibly important past even the performance upgrade. So, I honestly, if you've not played Rise, if you've not had a Switch, if you've not been able to jump in, really don't worry. PC is a fantastic way to experience, and I definitely think, due to both features and it being content complete, the superior way to experiencing it. Personally, I can't wait to play through the game again, and, well, use it as an excuse to play with another weapon, and I know that might be crazy coming from me, but it really is nice to have that. Rise of all Monster Hunter games, still, I maintain, has the most satisfying create character up until final boss defeated experience of any Monster Hunter game that I have played, which is of course to say literally all of them. The end game, of course, hasn't changed. It's not had anything worked on or different. It is just a port, so bear that in mind if you're thinking about getting PC just to also have it. But of course, Sunbreak will be simultaneously launched on PC, which means you no longer have to make the decision of wait for PC or get it earlier, play it earlier on Switch. So if you do plan to fully go into Sunbreak on PC, then yes, get this going, get to the end, get back all of your stuff, and job is a good one. Of course, no crossplay, as it was heavily discussed a few months back, but it does seem like something the Monster Hunter team very much is into, and I can't imagine a world in which the next generation of games does not have that as an option. So that is, of course, something to keep in mind too. There's even nifty little things like in-game voice chat for if you're playing with random extra hunters, so you can have a little bit of fun there, and it really does feel like every little thing has genuinely been thought about, and that's really what you want to see. So yeah, I hope this quick little talk about how the version's actually been, how it's been running, why you should get it, or maybe why you shouldn't, has been helpful. It really has been a joy just to play Rise, but better, and I can't wait to bring you more and more of it, especially with a very special pro and noob we've got lined up titled hard mode that takes the experience of this game and turns it on its head, and up to 11 at the same time. And of course, not to mention, in the future we obviously have perhaps mods to expect and ways to customize and tweak the game that simply isn't possible when it comes to Switch. So, that said then, I hope you have a lot of fun hunting, I hope you very much enjoy yourselves, and I hope you look forward to everything that is on its way. Until we meet again then, my name has been Josh. Thank you very much to Capcom for, well, allowing me this opportunity. It really means a lot, and it is an honor to be a part of this community, because honestly, Monster Hunter is just so wonderful. It seriously is. Like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe for more, please consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.